Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Sri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Prala Narsimhadev Prala Narsimhadev Prala Narsimhadev Prala Narsimhadev. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. श्री श्री गौरीताई की, श्री श्री राधोल भगवान की, श्री श्री से जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रमय की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for assembling for the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class, which is on Monday, the start of the week. And we also see some new devotees coming. So welcome to Hare Krishna temple. So morning for next 50 minutes or so, we have this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam lecture. Thank you. So this is a book, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Those who have not seen Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So this book contains pastimes of Supreme Lord and the devotees, inspiring all of us to how to perfect our life. And today we are reading from Canto 7. So this is also called as Signs of God. There are 14 cantos. Each canto has its own title. The title of this book is Signs of God. So that means the process and methodology of realizing God. God is the Supreme Person, and how do we realize the Supreme Person? And then today we are reading from chapter 7. The title of chapter is What Prahlad Learned in the Womb. That means Prahlad, who is a Bhakta Prahlad. So what has he learned in the womb of a mother? Okay, so one can learn in the womb. So we are learning after coming out of the womb. But there are some persons can learn in the womb. Even the babies can also learn in the womb. Like if you have a baby, then you expose baby to a melodious, divine music. The baby also respond in a melodious way. But if you expose to horror sound, baby also try to kick mother. So that she can experience pain and take the baby a bit away. When go away, so that baby also goes away. Okay, so here, when you expose a baby to the divine teaching, in association with some Maha Bhagavat such as Narada Muni. Narada Muni always explains what is the goal of life, and he inspires you to take up that goal and then make your life perfect. So this was under that circumstances. Prahlad has heard from Narada Muni. So therefore we are discussing what did he learn in the womb. And today's, every day there will be one verse picked up. No, actually not picked up. It is given. So it is a sequence. You don't pick. So if yesterday was verse number 36, and today the next verse, which is 37, verse number 37. Okay, so now we, before we go, further, so let us invoke auspiciousness. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, verse number 37. Okay, verse number 37. So first we read word by word, then we read the full statement in the verse. Adok saja alambam iha asubhatmanaha Sariranaha Smarstrit Chakra Satanam Tat Brahma Nirvana Sukham Viduha Buddha Tata Bhajadvam Hardaye Hartiswaram. Adoksajalambam iha subhatmanaha. Adoksajalambam iha subhatmanaha. Sariranaha samtis chakra satanam. Sariranaha samsriti chakra satanam. Tad brahma nirvana sukham vidha buddhas. Tad brahma nirvana sukham vidur buddhas. Tato bhajadvam hardaye hardayiswaram. Tato bhajatvam hardaye hardayiswaram. Adoksalabanam iha subhatmanam. Sariranaha swamti chakra satanam. Tad brahma nirvana sukham vidur buddhas. Tato bhajavadam hadaye hradiswaram. Adoksalabanam iha suratmanaha. Sariranam smati chakra sathanam. Tad brahma nirvana sukham vidur buddhas. Tato bhajavadam hadaye hradiswaram. Adoksajalam iha subhatmanam. Tad brahma nirvana sukham vidur buddhas. Tato buddha vanam hridaye hardiswaram. Adoksalam iha subhatmanam. Sariranaha samsri chakra sathanam. Tad Brahma Nirvana Sukham Vidur Buddhas. Tad Bhajavadam Hridaye Hridayeswaram. Chakrahanam. Sukham Vidur Buddhas. Mataji. Chakrahanam. Chakrahanam. Tad Brahma Nirvana Sukham Vidur Buddhas. Tato Bhajavadam Hridaye Hridayeswaram. Adokshalabam Ihasuvatmanam. Shariranam Samsri Chakrahatam. Tad Brahma Nirvana Sukham Vidur Buddhas. Tato Bhajavadam Hridayeswaram. So now word-to-word translation. Adoksaja, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond the reach of the materialist mind or experimental knowledge. Alambam, being constantly in contact. Iha, in this world. Asubhatmanaha, whose mind is materially contaminated. Shariranaha, of a living entity who has accepted a material body. Samsrati, of material existence. Chakra, the cycle. Satanam, completely stopped. Tat, that. Brahma Nirvana, connected with the Supreme Brahman, the Absolute Truth. Sukham, transcendental happiness. Viduha, understand. Buddhaha, those who are spiritually advanced. Itaha, therefore. Bhajadvam, engage in the devotional service. Hridaye, within the core of the heart. Hat Ishwaram, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul within the heart. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki. The real problem of life is the repetition of birth and death, which is like a wheel rolling repeatedly up and down. This wheel, however, completely stops when one is in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, by the transcendental bliss realized from constant engagement in devotional service, one is completely liberated from material existence. All learned men know this. Therefore, my dear friends, O sons of the Asuras, immediately begin meditating upon and worshipping the Super Soul within everyone's heart. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki. Generally, it is understood that by merging in the existence of Brahman, the impersonal feature of Absolute Truth, one becomes completely happy. The word Brahma Nirvana refers to connecting with the Absolute Truth, who is realized in three features. Brahmete Parametme Bhagavan iti Shabdate. One feels Brahma Sukha, spiritual happiness, by merging into the impersonal Brahman, because Brahma Jyoti is the effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yasya Prabhavato Jagatanda Koti. Yasya Prabha, the impersonal Brahman, consists of the rays of Krishna's transcendental body. Therefore, whatever transcendental bliss one feels from merging in Brahman is due to contact with the Krishna. Contact with Krishna is perfect Brahma Sukha. When the mind is in touch with the impersonal Brahman, one becomes satisfied. But one must advance further to render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one's remaining merged in the Brahman refulgency is not always assured. As it is said, Aruha Kartrena Param Padam Tata Patanti Ado Anadratya Yasmat Anugrahaya. One may merge in the Brahman feature of the Absolute Truth, but there is a chance that one may fall because of not being acquaintance with the Adokshija or Vasudeva. Of course, such Brahma Sukham undoubtedly eliminates material happiness, but when one advances through impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead in relationship with Him as a servant, friend, parent or conjugal lover, one's happiness becomes all-pervading. Then one automatically feels transcendental bliss. Just as one becomes happy seeing the shining of the moon, one acquiring natural happiness upon seeing the moon. But when one can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's transcendental happiness increases hundreds and thousands of times. As soon as one is very intimately connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one surely becomes free from all material contamination. Ya nirvati stanu bratam. This cessation of the material happiness is called the nivarti or nirvana. Srila Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.138, Brahmando bhavedesha Chat Prabhada Gunikritaha Neti Bhakti Sukham Bodheha Paramanu Tulam Api. If Brahmananda, the bliss of merging in the Brahman effulgence, were multiplied by hundreds of trillions of time, it would still not equal to even an atomic fragment of ocean of transcendental bliss felt in devotional service. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kingsati samasarvesu bhutesu madbhaktim labhayate param. One who is transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahma becomes fully joyful. He, however, never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards all living entities. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto the Lord. This in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, 54 verse. If one advances further from Brahma Nirvana platform, one enters the stage of devotional service. Mad bhaktim labhayate param. The word adokshaja labham refers to keeping the mind always connected in the Absolute Truth, who is beyond the mind and material speculation. So, Save Manaha Krishna Padaravindaha. This is the result of deity worship. By constant engaging in the service of the Lord and thinking of His lotus feet, one is automatically freed from all material contamination. Thus, the word Brahma Nirvana Sukham indicate that when one is in touch with the absolute truth, material sense gratification is completely nullified. Om Ajnana Trimindasya Jnananja Salakaya Chaksurilmitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishnapadaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachata Desha Tarani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today's verse primarily focus on understanding the real problem of life. The real problem of life. We have many problems in life, but there is one real. Others are temporary. And you know that. You come across so many problems, and that problem persists for 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, maybe whole life also. But this samsara chakra is there. So if not this life you are not able to solve, you can solve the problem next life. But there is one problem that remains as long as you are in this material world. And that problem is what Prahlad Maharaj is speaking. So this knowledge is actually a realized knowledge. See, we can read Bhagavad Gita. So when we read Bhagavad Gita is clear instruction. Instruction 1, instruction 2, like this. Multiple instruction. But instruction we may not realize clearly unless it is explained with realization, with example. So here Prahlad Maharaj has been giving many examples. The previous verses also give many examples why we have to take this process of bhakti. And by taking this process of bhakti, how pure we become. Our mind becomes pure. Our heart becomes pure. As a result, we will be peaceful. And we not only become peaceful, we also see others as representation of Supreme Lord. So that way we start developing the friendly relationship. And when you have friendly relationship, you will always be happy wherever it is. So those are the points that are given. So the first point is the real problem of life is the repetition of birth and death. So here so among these 4 yogas, and before that, generally most of the public who are embracing, say, Vedas, Vedic teaching, often they focus on ritualistic karma kanda activities. So the persons who are engaged in this karma kanda activities, so this is more of performing some ritualistic ceremonies in order to gain material wealth. And sometime when the exam is very tough, so people go and pray to a demigod. So request the demigod to bless them so that they can pass that exam. Not only pass, but get first rank in the entire state. So people do. Oh, okay, you also somehow got first rank in entire state and then you joined in some great university. So if you are to win Victoria University, this Victoria State, so maybe you want to join University of Melbourne. So why? So because we want a prestige. correct? Puja and Pratishtha. So if I go and join a prestigious university, therefore I am also a prestigious person. That's how we think, isn't it? So prestigious university, so preferably ranked highest in so like this. Even the battery power that is charged, only temporary, correct? So we keep changing mic after mic because the battery power is also depleting. So it's all limited, correct? So limited and also time. Yeah, very little, but it is also only for short duration. It is not eternally, correct? If I can get 4 volt of this for next 100 years, that will be very nice. But this is only life, maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute, it varies. Okay, it's all limited. So under their frustration, some of them try to see, okay, let me try to understand further in the Vedas, then try to gain. So that is where they come across. Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. Brahman is Satya. Satya means that is the truth, that's the real. But this Jagat that we are living is Mithya, means false, not true, is false. So that is what Jnana Yogis, propose. So therefore, what do? Let us leave this place. Why stay in a Mithya place, which is not true? So let's go back to Brahman. So this is where impersonal Brahman. So they try to go there. So there's the first statement in purport. Prabhupada says, generally, people understand that merging into the existence of impersonal Brahman, one becomes completely happy. So, because of frustration, we are seeking complete happiness. That is mukti. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are 4 purusharthas. So, do some little dharma. So, often dharma means some karma kanda activities. Then, through that, you gain wealth, you gain beautiful wife, because if you want to get a beautiful husband and beautiful wife, there are also sutra that you need to read. Sri Suktam. If you read Sri Suktam, you can get possibly a very nice, wealthy, handsome, good husband. There must be something like that for men also. If you want to get a good wife, I'm sure, I don't know about that one, but there are. If you go to some temples in India, so they will perform puja for you. We say Archana. Oh Pujari Pandit, can you please do Archana for me? So you offer $100, not 100 rupees. Yeah, if you do $100, he will do even better, dedicated for you, fully dedicated for that day. So anyway, so there are these activities. So to be happy in material world, but they will frustrate you. So no one was happy forever. Everybody got frustrated. And that frustration is the next step in moving towards, in progression of bhakti. So first step maybe you progress towards this Jnana path, Brahma, Satya, Jagat, Mithya. So then the next is perhaps you move towards, Dhyana Yoga. So trying to realize Paramatma. Then furthermore is towards true bhakti, what we call devotional service. Okay? So this happens in life of many, many personalities. And those of you who have read Prabhupada's, Leelamrita, there you will see Prabhupada has pursued almost up to 55, 60 years life, this Grahastha life, trying to dedicate and perform devotional service within his own means. But he didn't find that much cooperation from the family members. And it seems one day Prabhupada has, kept Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and went out and came back. That is missing. Ask all the family members, what happens to my book? Where is my book? Then obviously children said, we don't know. Then finally you ask Home Minister. Correct? Home Minister is supposed to know what is happening in the home. But Home Minister said, oh, this book, I've just sold it and purchased some biscuit and ate it along with the tea and coffee. Then Prabhupada said, okay, this is it. That is when he left the house and went to Vrindavan. So there are incidents that comes in our life. So that can be, turning point. Some of them happens naturally. So maybe in case of Prahlad, Prahlad is very fortunate. Just in the womb only he learned, the moment he is born, he is already devotee, born devotee. Correct? So sometimes we say, this person is born with silver spoon. That means he is born in a rich family. So Prahlad's case, he not only born in a rich family, because his father was the ruler of the entire universe. Correct? Upper planets, lower planets, and middle planets. Not just ruler of one state, but ruler of the entire universe. He was ruling at that time. But more importantly, he is born as a devotee. So devotee is not interested in any of this wealth anyway. So he is born as a devotee. So those things can also happen. So this progression towards Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. So Prabhupada says, we accept the first part. Brahma Satya, yes, we agree. But Jagat is not Mithya. Jagat is temporary. Like Lord Krishna says, Dukkhalaya Ashasvatam. Yes, we agree that this world is Dukkhalaya, therefore we should progress towards Brahman. But this Dukkhalaya world is, Dukkhala Ashasvata, temporary. So it has got maybe few trillion years of life. So it is not false. It is the creation of the Lord. Right? Krishna has two kinds of energy. One is Antaranga Shakti, other is Bahiranga Shakti. The world we are in is Bahiranga Shakti. So Bahiranga Shakti is also Krishna's energy. But it is inferior. Whereas Antaranga Shakti is superior. So there also happiness, here also happiness. But here is happiness is Chapala Sukha, only flickering, just momentary. But whereas in Antaranga Shakti, happiness is unlimited. Clear? Yeah. But here more dukkha, very flickering happiness, whereas there no dukkha. That's why he said the Antaranga Shakti. So representation, the best representation of Antaranga is Srimati Radharani. Okay? So spiritual word, which is the manifestation of Antaranga Shakti. So there is eternally happy, blissful. So So therefore, Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. We take the first part from the Jnana Yoga, second part we put Bhakti. So because this is the Lord's creation, even though it is inferior, it is the external energy, but this can be used in moving towards that Satya. So that is why, so in Krishna concept we say, Yukta Yoragya, whatever you are getting. So, Prabhupada usually often gives, Prabhupada when he was writing this book, he didn't have a computer to type his Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Correct? What was he using? He was using a typewriter. You have seen typewriter? Yeah. Cut like that, right? So you type, cut. Prabhupada is saying that this typewriter, cut, that makes sound. Whether you use it, whether you use it on earthly planet or use it in heavenly planet, it will cut only. Its job is that cut. The typing the characters so that it looks like a word. Word becomes a statement becomes a book. Correct? Otherwise, one character, A, B, C, D, E, F, like that, Z, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's all. So with a proper arrangement, you can make a word, statement, verse, then full book, like that, multiple of those. So similarly, so this word, whatever that is created from this word, we can use it in service of Krishna. So it says typewriter we use in service of Krishna. Then this mic is not mithya. Mic is real, but temporary. Correct? The life of this mic is maybe around 3 year, 4 year. Correct? Sometime it fall down, then the life will become very short. Sometime it break down and there will be break. So the circuitry broken, so life is shortened. Otherwise, just like our life is 100 year, this life 100 year of the manufacturer of this mic says, okay, this is valid for say 4 year. If there is any problem, we can replace for you. Of course, if you manipulate or spoil it, then no, the condition won't apply. Okay, that guarantee won't apply. So life is there. So this is temporary, but it is real. Okay, so it is not false. So engaging that in service of Krishna. So that is what is Bhakti Yoga talks about. Then here as you read, we see Prabhupada talk about Brahma Sukha. And also realizing this absolute truth in 3 forms. Brahmeti, Parameti, Bhagwaneti iti sabdate. You can realize this absolute truth. The transcendentalists, they try to realize absolute truth in one of the 3 forms. Brahmeti, that is impersonal Brahman, Brahma Jyoti. Second, Parameti, that is Paramatma. Then the third is Supreme Bhagwan himself, Bhagavan. Okay, in 3 forms. Usually you see, you go through all the translators. When they speak about, they usually speak about one of these. So what we call Mayavadi sannyasis or Mayavadi school of thought. So they generally talk about merging into impersonal Brahman. So when you merge into impersonal Brahman, so then they say, you become Brahman. So therefore you are Supreme Lord. Then finally, of course, I am also Supreme Lord because I am also going to merge into Supreme Lord. So that is the philosophy. So then they're saying, you are God, you are God, you are God, you are God, you are God. So like that. Maybe partially true. With pinch of salt you can say, yeah, partially true. Because in your every person body there is a Paramatma. So this was discussed earlier, that Paramatma is our supreme friend, Supreme Lord comes with us in his form as Paramatma. Okay? Paramatma is coming with us, so he is there. So one sense you can say partially yes, you are a temple of God. Because in your heart there is not only you, but also Paramatma is there. But that doesn't mean that you became Paramatma. Correct? Yeah. So just like I am here in Australia, that doesn't mean that whole Australia belongs to me. No. I might be working hard and purchase small one apartment or a house in Albert Park. That's all. I can claim for next few years that it belongs to me. Correct? But I can't claim the entire Australia or entire universe. Correct? Just because I'm here. Similarly, when Paramatma is there, we can't claim that we are Supreme Lord. So we recognize our position as another part and particle, small spark of that Paramatma. So that means spark is part of that Paramatma. So therefore, the duty of spark is to engage in satisfying Paramatma or fulfilling the wishes. Correct? So fulfilling the desires. The devotees are always fulfilling desires of Lord. So next, that's the realization. So from this one achieves what we call Brahma Sukha. That is achieving happiness by merging into impersonal Brahman. But it is said that, so this Brahma Sukha is again, one can get that happiness, but one can get bored also. There are no activities. Suppose you merge yourself into impersonal Brahman, then what? Imagine if I am simply asked to sit down in the asana all the time and speak only sit down in the asana. First time, I accept very happily. Correct? But if they say only your job is only always sitting on this asana 24 hours throughout the year, so then I say, no, I don't want this. I want to get out of this place. Correct? Even like when you are very tired, worked 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, that time the pleasure for you is to sleep on the bed. But if they ask you to sleep for one day, full 24 hours, will you sleep? You start having pain, correct? The first 7-8 hours is a pleasure. After that, sleeping for more than 8 hours, it become a pain. You somehow want to get out. Yeah, so like that. When you merge into Brahman, so there are no activities. Possibly you may not get a glass of water there. Correct, some activity necessary. Little drinking, little speaking, little hearing, doing some kirtan, get up, stand up, then go and have prasada, go to kitchen, see what is happening, find out Manmohan Prabhu, ask him what can I do something, he will tell you do this. So you feel pleasure, correct? So I'm getting tired by sitting here, but he says go and run, get that one. So you feel pleasure when you are running. So these activities are not there. So because of that, so you may fall down. So Prabhupada also said that in this Brahman realization, when you merge into Brahman, unless you progress to the next step. So you have got option. You are in Brahma Jyoti, you are already at the highest position, compared to this material world. So you are already in a better position. But if you progress, advance little bit towards, next step is Brahmeti, Parameti. That is Paramatma realization. Further advance, become a devotee. Then you go back to Vaikuntha Loka or Goloka Vrindavan. So that is perfect arrangement. But most of them, that doesn't happen. So often they end up fall down. When you come back to this material world again, what do? Because you already know this knowledge. So here pursuing this just material activity is not good. So therefore you end up taking up other roles such as philanthropist. You'll be born in a rich family, let us say, you are bestowed with power and position. Even if you become a sannyasi, that sannyasi likes to become a politician. In this life, you'll see there are some sannyasis, yogis. So these yogis, commanding a leader or head of some big mata. Mata means like institution, spiritual institution. So instead of focusing fully on that spiritual aspect and enlightening everybody towards spirituality, they stop that one and take up political position. Politicians, they end up becoming chief minister. Sometimes they may become prime minister also. Okay, who knows? Time is the answer. So like that they become politicians. Some of them says, okay, although I am in transcendental path, yogi, but they will start big hospital. They are good, pious activity, definitely, especially opening up a hospital. Also opening up education centers. So education, of course, you can open up education center that gives transcendental knowledge, or you can open up education center that gives you material knowledge, how to become a the best engineer, how to become a best doctor, how to become a best lawyer, how to become a best accountant, how to become best treasurer, like the different education. But if they can combine, that is the best. So there are such transcendentalists, they combine this spiritual education and also material education. If you join their Gurukul, so they will teach you the system of, early morning, doing some prayer, some yoga, doing some shastric studies. Then, of course, after that, during daytime, do some study. Then evening again, go to Gurukul. In Gurukul, you do some Sandhya Vadana, Dhyana, hear some spiritual teaching. So those are, at least some little balance is there. Yeah. So this is what happens. So from Brahman platform, fall down to earthly platform. So Brahman, Brahma Jyoti to here. So these are the things they do. But otherwise, advance is very important. So Prabhupada also, for the first verse, you see, Adokshaja Alabam. That is, Adokshaja is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That, let's say, Lord Krishna. Then this Alabamam, that is in constantly touch. When you are in constant touch, so you always have a success. Otherwise, so this chakra, what is the chakra? So that which is indicated in the second line. Sariranam samsrati chakra satanam. Satana means eternally. Samsrati chakra, samsara chakra. Then Sariranam. Sariranam means this body which is born in material world. This is Sarira. Then it's in samsara chakra. Eternally. Samsara chakra. So that is why, in Bhaja Govindam, Adi Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya is one of the greatest Jnana Yogi. Correct? We usually say Adi Shankaracharya's teaching more on impersonal Brahman. So that's usual. But his last teachings is what we call Bhaja Govindam. In Bhaja Govindam, he talked about very nicely, this one of the verse in Bhaja Govindam, collection of verses. One of them talk about Punarapi Jananam, Puranapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jatare Sayanam, Ihi Samsare Bahudustare, Kripaya Pare Pahi Murare. Actually, what we see here, the same thing is in another form of explanation. Punarapi Janaram, Punarapi Maranam. So, when you are in the samsara chakra, so in samsara chakra, Punarapi Janaram, Punarapi Maranam. You are born again and again die. Birth, death, this is just going on. This is samsara chakra. Punarapi Jananam, Puranapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jatare Sayanam. That means when person dies, again he will take a birth. There is this living beings, Janani, the mother, Jatare, so in womb. So this, the living entity again, comes into, lie on womb of the mother. Sayana means like lying. Sayana, like sleeping. Correct? We say last arati is called Sayana arati. From 9 to 9:30 here, we say Sayana arati. That is, we are going to put arati, then put Lord to the sleeping. Put Lord to, put them to sleep. So that is Sayana arati. So similarly, after your death, again you will appear. That is first, in Jatara, of Janani, mother, Sayana. So that happens. Then next says, Iha samsare bahudustare. So this Iha means this loka. Iha loka, paraloka. This is Iha loka, where we are. So in this loka, Iha samsare. So in samsara, simply this process of chakra is going on. Then bahudustare. What is bahudustare? It is very difficult to overcome. You can't stop this. You can't come out of this chakra. Very difficult. So this is what also here the second verse says. samsara chakra sanatam. Iha Brahma Nirvana Sukham Vidur Buddhas. So therefore, all this translate is, somehow they want to come out of this samsara chakra. So how do you come out? According to Adi Shankaracharya, same as what Prabhupada was teaching, all the devotees are teaching. There is Kripaya Pare Pahi Murare. Kripaya, Kripa means kindness or a grace. Pai, Kripaya Pare, unlimited grace. From whom? Murare. Murare is what? One who killed Mura demon. Who killed? Krishna. So when you get Kripa, Kripa or kindness or compassion from this unlimited Kripa holder, who is Krishna. So when you get Krishna's Kripa, you can get out of this samsara chakra. Otherwise, there is no other way. So Bhakti Yoga also teaches, you perform devotional service, but you can get out of this samsara chakra. Yeah, so this chakra is keep going on. Then what is this Bhakti Yoga? So we want to now move from Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga to Dhyana Yoga, then to Bhakti Yoga. So in Dhyana Yoga also, some Dhyana yogis, many of them may be interested in acquiring mystic perfection. Mystic yoga, mystic perfection. For example, becoming lighter than lightest. If you become lighter than last year, that yogic perfection, what can you do? You can walk on water. When you walk on water, everybody will appreciate you. Correct? Definitely will be appreciated and prestige will come. You can become heavier than heaviest. Heavier than heavier. You can say, look, I can break the mountain. Just go and put your foot. The mountain is broken. Oh, this is a very powerful person. And then you can become smaller than smallest. When you become smaller than smallest, you can say, without anybody visible, you can pick up a gold from somewhere else, some earth, and present to others. Says, look, this person can create a gold. So all these mystic yogas, you can get it through Dhyana Yoga. But some devotees, some of them don't want those things. They move towards bhakti slowly. But you have seen, in general, if you study in the news and all, you will see some of them performing these uncommon activities that are not so easy. Only mystic, master of mystic can do it. So by connecting with the master of mystic, you can get those, definitely. Krishna is Yogeswara. Yatra Yogeswara Krishna. We say in the Bhagavad Gita, Yatra Yogeswara Krishna. Krishna is the master of all the mystic yogas. If you are connected with Krishna, definitely he can give you if you want. But the devotees are not interested. Those who want to move towards devotion to God, they generally, don't focus on getting all the mystic perfection, try to exhibit these, uncommon activities and qualities, and through that you gain Kripa stage, then slowly you declare yourself as a Bhagavan. Usually some of the people, they declare Bhagavan XYZ, correct? So those people accept it because they are doing something that we can't do easily. Yeah, they can do, if the bridge that is connecting one side to the Yamuna towards Vrindavan, the bridge is sinking, they can hold it in their finger. Now that the huge rain, correct, heavy rain, heavy flood, if bridge is shaking, it might fall down. But with their ability, they can hold it like this. Power, if someone holds this, everybody will appreciate you, surely. So you'll be called as a Bhagavan only. Yeah, so these are Bhagavan qualities are bestowed on this Dhyana Yogi, those who are interested. But the Bhakti Yogi, he is not interested in those. But he simply depends on Krishna. He says, let Krishna keep all this perfection. I will be simply engaged in service. That's what Arjuna did. The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is, Yatra Yogeswara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanudhara, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhuti Nitir Matirmam. So here is the Supreme Lord. So when you are engaged in Supreme Lord, he can bestow you all of that. So for Arjuna actually he didn't ask for the supreme perfection so that he can kill everyone in the army. So, if you see this, Kurukshetra war, so this Arjuna was the insignificant warrior compared to Dronacharya, then Bhishma, then Karna. All these, they are very powerful warrior, like Timingalas. In Bhagavad Gita, in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, we say, they are called Timingalas. And whereas Arjuna was like a small fish. How can this small fish win this Timingala kind of sharks? Difficult, impossible, insignificant. But because he had a Krishna on his side, he was able to come victorious. Yatra Yogeswara Krishna, Tatra Sri Vijayo. So that is, he achieved that Vijaya, victory. So the devotees are, Krishna, Arjuna didn't ask for those at all. So he was simply engaged in serving Krishna. Krishna will guide wherever necessary, and then he just performed as per the guidance. So similarly, devotees are not interested in this kind of mystic perfection. So they will be bestowed by Lord whenever necessary, at your level. So whenever you need it, at that time, he will arrange all the things necessary. If you have a desire to do some, say, Bhagavad Gita class in one of the university, or maybe in City Hall of Victoria, you just need to have a desire. And Krishna will automatically organize all the necessary paraphernalia. He will organize who is the best Mridanga player, maybe Hayagriva. Are you the best Mridanga player right now? No, here, in this assembly. You are the best one? No. Among all of you, who can do the best Mridanga we are talking about? Okay. So even though he might have broke his right hand, but he can still play with the left hand. He is doing everything, including accepting prasad also. Hare prasada. Yeah. So he'll organize, Krishna will organize. Let me tell you, you just have a desire. So I want to serve this Krishna this way. Man proposes, God disposes. This is the well-known one, correct? You propose to Krishna, Radha Vallabha, I want to do this for you. He will say, no problem. He will organize. He will say, okay, no problem. When you have this Gita Wisdom lecture in City Hall, immediately he will tell Manmohan Prabhu, please organize prasada for them. And he will tell our Dvija Prabhu, please organize books distribution there. And he will tell, Krishna will organize. Actually, we just have a desire. I can tell you from my personal experience. You have a desire, Krishna will fulfill. In April, I was in Ahmedabad, the place of Gandhi, the place of Modi's. So there I was there. So then suddenly one of the university said, every time we heard cloud computing from you, our students are already reading that from your book. Book is prescribed already, they are reading. But can you tell us something behind? So how about something on Gita wisdom? Then they come out with, they said, success formula based on Gita wisdom. Then when you're doing such a, you need some devotees who can help you doing initially, some 5-minute kirtan. For that you need a best Mridanga player. And I don't know Mridanga at all. Never played Mridanga. Then you need best some accompanying persons also. Correct? Kirtan is very joyful when you have a nice accompanying persons also. Correct? So when there is a very important, that time if you have got a nice followers, nice, those who can repeat, then call and response. Those who are nice responders, best Kartala players, the best Mridanga players, the best harmonium players you need. Krishna will simply organize. Suddenly, so they had in the temple, this university preaching group. Automatically everything appeared there. I just asked one devotee, they asked me, either anybody can help me. They say immediately everything organized. And they came also. Yeah, so like that. We just need to have a desire and everything else will come. And they also came with book as well. After then people ask, hey, where can I learn more about it? He said, here are the books, please take. So books also. Then of course, after hearing it, not just only giving gnana, we also have to give, something to the food also, stomach also, so give some little prasada as well. So all of it will be organized. So we need to have a desire, that's all. All we need to do is desire. If you desire something for Krishna's glorification, in service of Krishna, and it is Krishna's duty. We are not insignificant, correct? So he will organize all of that. So those are the points. Then coming to bhakti, that is also explained. So the first one, in connection with Adoksaja. So this unlimited Supreme Lord. So when you do this in connection with Him, everything happens. So that is the later point. So this Brahma Nirvana Sukham. We are looking for transcendental pleasure. And this transcendental pleasure you will get, so as you progress towards bhakti. So that is connection with Adoksaja. We have to build connection with Adoksaja. You can build many ways. So these are also discussed very nicely in the previous chapter and previous verses, where there was a detailed discussion on this 9 processes of devotional service, starting with Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, correct? These 9 processes. So you connect with Krishna. So right now during last 40 minutes you are sitting, you are actually connected with Krishna. So we are discussing about Krishna's teaching here. So you are connected. Sravanam and Kirtanam is going on. So we are connected. So then, Archanam. So while we were discussing, there was also Archana was happening. So I don't know whether Archana flowers are given. Usually they give. Did they pass? Yeah. So I didn't get one. Please give me. Yeah. So Archana, so after Archana, so smelling Lord's offering is a seva. Correct? So you get Krishna's mystic power into your nose, so that you can detect the smell. This power of detecting smell is the energy of Krishna. Some people are not able to detect smell. You know that? They can't identify the smell of different things. So then they say, oh, we have to do rewiring of the brain. From sense organ, it has to go to the brain and it has to detect what the smell is. Is it favorable smell or unfavorable? So this is the energy of Lord. So energy. So this by doing smelling, you get accept Krishna's blessing. So that's what Bhaja Govindam says. Kripaya pare pahi murare. Without kripa, unlimited kripa from pahi, that is murare, you won't be able to cross this bhavadustare. That is samsara chakra, not possible to cross. But if you take shelter, Krishna says, crossing this samsara chakra is just like crossing a calf foot. This cow and the cow baby, calf. So when it puts on the mud, the size is very small. You can easily cross. That when the cows are walking in a mud, so there will be footprint. And if it looks too much muddy, what you can do, you can jump easily. Can you jump? You can easily jump. Just a small 10 centimeter. You can jump. Similarly like that. When you are connected with Krishna, Krishna will make this samsara chakra crossing just like one step. Usually you see some of these books, Chant and Be Happy, and all those books, the Prabhupada books. Some of them, inside they got one picture, where a person is drowning in the ocean. And they will show you Lord Vishnu, a devotee coming and then picking him up. So if you are into this Indian Ocean or Atlantic Ocean and middle of the ocean, drowning, with your own effort, can you swim from the middle of the ocean to here? We can somehow manage to swim 10 meter, 20 meter, maybe 1 kilometer. Otherwise you are drowning only. Even if you are in a boat also, boat is shaking, very difficult. Sometimes, some of the Australians are famous for, solo voyage. Solo, one person himself will take one small boat and goes on into Atlantic Ocean. He says from Australia to America journey. Suddenly in the middle something happens. Then they will call, save our soul, SOS, SOS. Somehow the army of the ship, Jaladhut, they will go and try to rescue that person. That happens. So, but often they are not successful, but sometimes they are successful. But if you take on shelter of Krishna, so this samsara chakra crossing is just like crossing a calf print. Very, very important. So that become very easy. So this is already. So you can do that just simply engaging in one of these seva. So, Sravanam, Kirtanam, just doing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. For Kali Yuga it is very easy. For other yugas, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. We are in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, process has to be very simple. Simply chanting holy name. So Prabhupada has brought that holy name to all over the world. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, there is no other way other than chanting holy name. So in this Kali Yuga, the simplest process is Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Kevalam. So simply chant holy name. So this is Kirtanam. So this, you can pick up one of these. You don't have to do all of them. But those who are coming to temple it's like if you walked into the temple at 7 o'clock. So we get to see the Darshana Arati. So this is as good as you performing Arati. Doing Arati, seeing someone else performing Arati is actually transcendentally same. There was another verse. In transcendental platform, every activity is same, interchangeable. Don't think that unless you stand there and perform Arati yourself, you are connected. No. Even if you are here, because you are here, you are there, so therefore your presence, the pious credit or bhakti that person doing puja gets, the same you also get. Just simply being participating. That is, just simply entering and seeing that one. Then after that, they do kirtan. So doing kirtan, you also repeat. So some person may be leading and you are following. So you are doing same equally. So then of course the devotees bhoga offering. Then after that what happens? They take bhoga there. So you go and accept that Mahaprasada. Equal. So you're honoring the Mahaprasada. So by the mercy of Krishna is coming. So by honoring the Mahaprasada, by having prasada instead of something else. Always if you want to eat prasada. By doing this, so your mind will become more and more consciousness of Krishna. The person who cooking that bhoga, so he is thinking about how do I make it so nicely, this pleases Radha Vallabha. Radha Vallabha will accept this offering very nicely. He will enjoy. He is thinking about that. Then after that Radha Vallabha accepts, he says, okay, no problem, go and give it to Hayagriva, give it to Krishna, give it to Yogi. Right? They come and accept. So therefore that mercy is coming directly connected. So Adoksaja, Alambam. So this what we call Alambam, that is being connected in constantly. So it's very important. So simply coming and engaging in those very actively. Then of course, so this you can do in a different level, don't worry. We may be in the beginning stage, some little Shraddha. Then doing an association of devotees, sadhu sangha. And along with them do some kirtan, bhajane kriya. So like that you keep doing, progressing slowly. Then you start developing nistha, Then you say, oh, this is very tasty, asakti. Then you come to, oh, I definitely want every day. I want to come to Darshanarthi. Then I want to hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Then I want to go and have prasada. Then I will go to school, Middle Park Primary School. Correct? Primary School, Middle Park? After that you go to Middle Park Primary School. So like this. Then you continue constantly. That is also emphasized, which is, that is Satanan. That is eternally, continuously, regularly. So by doing that, with that bhajan vadam hardaye hard iswaram, with pure heart. Maybe in the beginning heart is not pure, but because you're going through, your heart will become pure. Correct? So the pure heart will become, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, this Hare Krishna Kirtan, Hare Nam, Kirtan will cheto darpana marjana. Marjana means clean. Cheto darpana. Clean this mirror of dust from your heart. There is so much of dust is there. With the kirtan will become pure. When that become pure, so you will automatically achieve This is what we called Brahma Nirvana Sukham. That is there in the third line of this verse. Brahma Sukham, you will get it. So Brahma Sukham. And this Sukham, as you go along, and it will become continuous eternally in bhakti form. So that is what the final statement of this Prabhupada here. He says, you will get Ya Nivartis Tanu Bratam. So the cessation of material happiness, they will be replaced by transcendental happiness. The bliss, endless bliss. And we all want endless bliss. So otherwise temporary bliss is not useful. Material bliss, material happiness is temporary. You shift from temporary happiness to permanent happiness. So this is what bhakti gives you. And those are nicely given in each of the word. And each of the word is so powerful. So to follow in our life. Then of course you can do this in whatever rasa you like. Right? You might say, I want to consider Krishna as my friend. Okay, no problem. You can consider Krishna as a friend. Krishna will become your friend too. You say, maybe friendship means maybe we we think Krishna, we are equal and all. Maybe I just want to be happy to serving Krishna. So Dasya Rasa. You say, no, why not Krishna become my son? That is Vatsalya Rasa. Or you say, no, Krishna should become my husband. Conjugal lover, correct? Madhurya Rasa. So you can connect with Krishna in whatever rasa that is enjoyable to you. Or the mixture. Not pure, just one of these. It can be mixture. Correct? Sometimes you are a friend of Krishna, sometimes you are a Dasya of Krishna, sometimes you are parent of Krishna. So mixed relationship also. So depending upon unlimited possibilities are there. Okay? So with that we can achieve this Brahma Sukham. Which is promised in this verse. Okay, so with that let me stop here. So thank you very much for patiently hearing. So I'll be happy to take any questions. We got 10 minutes for prasada. Yeah, you got, no? Please give me the written one. Yeah, so please give her a mic.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhuji, we see in the translation how Prahlad Maharaj says that when we come in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the wheel of birth and death completely stops. And by doing devotional service, we go back home, back to Godhead. So when we commit an offense in the spiritual world, we have to come back to the material world. So how do we understand this?
So yes, so this verse itself is, clearly says, as you progress in devotion, you move towards and slowly, finally you come to spiritual world. So then in spiritual world, maybe we commit offense to Krishna again, we come back, come down. How can we stop? What do we do? This is an important question. So what we hear in most of the teachings from Prabhupada and many other realized souls, so they say, yes, so Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. So we have a free will. So let us say we are in Goloka Vrindavan. So we were in Goloka Vrindavan. So there Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Sometime we might develop attitude, oh, Krishna is enjoying, why not me also enjoy? So just thought. So yes, Krishna says, no problem. So one more universe I created for you. Because unlimited universes are there. Even material world also unlimited universes, not just ours, unlimited. So you go and appear there. So there you enjoy. So here we also try to become little controller. Then a little controller, then you come across frustration in life, then become Jnanayogi. Finally we go back. The question is, are we again going to fall? Usually they say, all those who are sensible, they are not going to make mistake again. Now usually, so if there is a fire, the kids like your brother or sister, they are very curious to touch that fire. You tell them, please, hey, Surabhi, don't touch. When it's small, but still she has to experience that burning. When they touch, they burn. Next time onward, they don't touch. Usually. There are some people you can't repair them, so they keep touching, burning again. Those are only few cases. But most of them, so now they burn their hand, they will not put fire. So let us say we have experienced enough trouble in Melbourne. Trouble from all kinds of situation, trouble from our own mind. Actually, whole of Australia, why whole of Australia? Whole of world is suffering from their mind. That is what we call mental anxiety, mental health problem. People don't have a physical health problem. They have a mental health problem now. And COVID has exaggerated this. People are simply sat for 2 years inside room. Now, the cascading effects are now coming. That time somehow, they were all in exciting, they're thinking about this vaccine, that vaccine, this. Somehow time went on. Now after that, the side effects are now. So the more and more this mental health problem is happening. This mental health problem is happening in India, happening in Australia, happening everywhere in the world. Don't say that India is immune from mental health problem. Even there now, even big problem, mental health problem. Yeah, so it is a big serious issue. So this mental health problem will come. Yeah, if you are not engaged. But once you see that so much of suffering here, and somehow you manage to go back to Vaikuntha Loka by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, following Prabhupada's teaching, following Śrīmad Bhāgavatam teaching, following the today's instruction of Prahlad Maharaj. So if you go back, then you say, here is so much of suffering, there is a blissful life in company of Krishna. Krishna is your friend. You say, Krishna, I am feeling tired, carry me. If you are a close friend, you can tell Krishna, Krishna, carry me. He will carry you. So you are enjoying so much of bliss. So it's very less likely that you fall down here. If at all, if you come, Krishna says, hey, Hayagriva, what about your friend Krishna? He's still there in Melbourne, go and get him. Then you might come as Acharya and start teaching, and then you take him back. So, yeah, otherwise, they don't want to come. Yeah, some people, you burnt hand 1 time, 2 times, 100 times, they still keep burning. Those are rare cases. But I expect most of us, if at all we go back to Vaikuntha Loka, or we go to Krishna Loka, Ayodhya Loka, Narasimha Loka, Buddha Loka, any of these Vaikuntha planet, if let's say we go, then it's very less chance that we want to come back. So here is Yogi. Do you like to come back? Yukta Yogi become. The greatest Yogi, Mahayogi. Yogi to Mahayogi. When you become Mahayogi, you say, okay, I am there, very so nice with Krishna, serving, variety. There, it is said, when the devotees make a bhoga, preparation for Krishna, let's say they make some sabji. So the same recipe, same sabji will never repeat. The sabji that is made today, eternally they will be different. So variety, enjoyment. Correct? If you are given the same thing, if you get the same thing, you get bored. You need a variety, every day, different. You see exciting, it's increasing, rasa is increasing. Keep increasing. Why you want to never go down? Keep going up. Yeah. So in that state, we won't fall down. So therefore, falling down to material world is less chance. Yeah. And even if you come down, you are not falling down. You are deputed. So Krishna says, okay, you please go and do this seva. So that's why we say Prabhupada is a Shakti Avatara. Krishna has bestowed special energy in him. So I say, okay, Prabhupada, you go. Mani, you go. Make some prasada for everybody. Like that. They are sent. Some are given different energy level, so to perform their duty. And if you can use it, okay, you have done successfully, Krishna, you have executed Krishna's instruction. Then you go back, right? Then if necessary, he will send somebody else. So you enjoy. But devotee says, no problem. Because Krishna's order, Krishna says, here, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So the devotees don't even want moksha. They are very happy to be here as long as they are in seva of Krishna. Some devotees who are very transcendentalist, so they said, no problem whether I am in Australia or in hellish planet or heavenly planet, kit, like typewriter. Right? Typewriter job is to simply engage in the seva. Similarly, the pure devotees, they don't even aspire for liberation. They say they all want is seva of Krishna, whether it is a Vaikuntha Loka or Goloka Vrindavan or Melbourne or any other planet or any other city or any other country in this world. So they are engaged in seva. Yeah. So if you go back to Vaikuntha Loka, please remember us and ask Krishna to call us also.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. You also want to go back to Vaikuntha Loka?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. My question was, in the translation it says when one is fully engaged in the devotional service of the Lord constantly, without wasting a second, then he is freed from material existence. But in sometimes or some cases we are not able to remember Krishna. So
Yes, sometimes you are not able to perform or function, but Krishna will take care. Your desire is there, correct? So you don't have to worry. So that's what, as I was saying, when you have a desire, so that itself is enough. This thinking, feeling and willing, we say. The mind desires and you desire. When you desire, Krishna will make it happen. So this is, I was saying, the statement. Man proposes, God disposes. Man means not just man, woman also. Okay? Not in Australia, not just man and woman, but others also. Correct? In Australia nowadays you can't say, oh, he will do it or she will do. They will object. I have experience. I wrote one grand proposal. We say, research assistant will do following things. Most of the place I put he/she. One place I put he will do this. Then say, oh, I am really unhappy about this proposal. This fellow has written he. Why not say general neutral? No problem. Anybody. So any living entity, he or she or a bird or beast, they propose the desire, then Krishna will fulfill. Then of course Krishna will always fulfill highest.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah? Highest for you. Yeah, that is why we always say, don't pray to Krishna, give me this, give me that. Simply express gratitude. And Krishna knows what is lacking in you. And then he says, if he fulfills that one, then he will do better service, then he will give it to you. Otherwise he says, no need, he is just happy be there. So I am pleased with you, whatever little you are doing. Yeah. Yesterday the Prabhu was talked about, no? Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. So he said, based on your personality, no problem. You don't have to be always giving a Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class. You can be a best bhakta simply by hearing. Correct? The person who is speaking may not be best bhakta, but simply one who is hearing every day, he is the best bhakta. The person who is speaking maybe just comes in once in a while and giving some lecture and going away. Some of the devotees were talking previously. They say, we just come and give a class and don't come to hearing. How are you unfortunate? They were only saying. The person who was sitting here, I think Jai Sachi Prabhu, one of the class he said, oh, we are simply coming, one day in a week, giving lecture and going away, not hearing, they're not good, unfortunate. But all of you who are sitting and hearing every day, every class from every other devotee who is giving, you are most fortunate and more pure, and Krishna is very pleased with you. Okay, so Krishna will take you, already 9:05. Okay, we will discuss in one-to-one, personal. Okay, thank you very much. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki.